Me and my colleagues have designed one add-on course which is entitled Instrumental Techniques for Characterization of Nanomaterials. This course we have designed for especially for the undergraduate students who are from the chemistry background. Nowadays lot of research is going on in the fields of nanomaterials. These nanomaterials have number of applications in our day-to-day life. So uh, we are using the mobile phones, then we are using the computers, we are using the so many things that includes the nanotechnology. So for this purpose we have designed this course specially for the undergraduate students. So before starting the course, so we have one chapter we have for the nanomaterials, what exactly the nanomaterials are there, their introduction part we have included in this. So to have an idea how small is the nanomaterial, so here I have shown some objects here. So you can see here the double DNA strand here, then red blood cells are here, then paper sheet is there, human hairs are there, then you can see the hydrogen atoms, they are sitting in a single line. So these objects, we know all these objects very well, but if you see the scale of these objects, like a DNA strand which is 2.5 nanometer wide, see the scale wise its width, it is 2.5 nanometer, and red blood cells, they are 7000 nanometer wide, and the paper that we are using in our day-to-day life, it is of 75000 nanometer thick, and the hair are hairs, if you measure their size, so they are in between the 50,000 to 1 lakh nanometer wide. And if you are taking hydrogen atoms, 10 hydrogen atoms in a single line, and if you measure it is 7 nanometer long. So by seeing all these objects, so you can get an idea how small is the nanomaterial. So this paper sheet and human hair, that we can see by our naked eye, but the things like hydrogen atoms or atoms, DNA strand, red blood cells, that we cannot see by our naked eye. So to see such a small objects like a atom, if you go to atomic scale, then DNA strand and red blood cells in our bloods, and for this purpose we required some specialized techniques to see it. So how small is the nanomaterial? So it 1 nanometer, it is 1 billionth of the meter, or at the meter scale it is 1 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter, and at centimeter scale it is 1 into 10 raised to minus centimeter. Again you can see in this slide the objects that you can able to compare the size wise, that is from ranging from the macro size, then micro size and nano size. So all molecules and atoms, bacteria, sorry, viruses, they come under the nano scale, and the red blood cells, human hair, so that comes under the micro scale. And the bulk object you can see macro system. So here you can see the ant here. So in this slide you can see some gold ornaments, so that each and everyone has some gold ornaments or some gold jewelry at their home. So here different designs you can see in this slide, and if you see the color wise, so the gold ornament, they are yellow in color, everyone knows or everyone can see it. And in at the right hand side you can see the sample bottles are kept here. So these some sample bottles, they have some solution, and the solution is having the color red to pink color. So and these bottles, they are labeled with some nanometer size, so that is 20 nanometer up to the 80 nanometer. And if you see the label of the bottles, that is 20, 30, 40 and up to 50 nanometer, you can see the red color, and the intensity of the color, it is increased up to the 50 nanometer. And from 60 to 80 nanometer, you can see the color of the solution, it is pink in color. So these colored solutions, red and pink color, they are nothing but the gold nanoparticles in the solution form. This is the colloidal solution of the gold nanoparticles. So that color we can observe it by our naked eye. And if you want to see which type of nanoparticles are present in this colored solution, or what exactly the shape of the nanoparticles are there, so for this purpose, so we have to use some specialized techniques which is called as a transmission electron microscopy. And in between I have shown one micrograph of the gold nanoparticles. This is the transmission electron micrograph of gold nanoparticles. So in this graph you can see the gold particles, nanoparticles, they are spherical in shape. So if you want to see the shape and exact size of the nanoparticles, for this purpose we have to use the specialized techniques like TEM. In short, it is called as a TEM. And in these micrographs you can see one bar is there. So that bar, which is it is 20 nanometer in scale. So if you calculate the exact size of these particles, so that is roughly we can say that it is less, the particles which are shown here, so they are having the size which is less than 20 nanometers. So purposely I have shown this this slide, because so at least you'll get an idea what happens to the material, that is the bulk material, when it goes to the nanoscale. What happens with this material? By in this slide you can see the color change, color property. This is change, that is means in bulk material gold is having the yellow color, but at nanoscale the color of the gold, it is changed up to the change to the red and the pink color, depending on the size of the nanoparticles, they have the color. So that at least you'll get an idea by seeing this key what happens when the material, it is, if you reduce the size of the material, bulk material, to the nanoscale. So bulk material, so each and every material has its own physico-chemical properties. So we know, as a student of science, as a student of chemistry, we know the properties like magnetic properties, electrical properties, conductivity of the material, thermal properties, semiconductivity property. So these properties, what happens with these properties when you reduce the size up to the nanoscale, these properties, that is the physico-chemical properties, optical properties, they get increased, or you can see the properties, they get enhanced at the nanoscale. So that's what a lot of research is going on in this field. So before going to the next, so at least few terms we should know what exactly is the nanoscience and what is the nanotechnology. So we have heard the word nanotechnology number of times. So here I have shown the synthesis of the nanomaterial. So one example I have shown here. So nanoscience, simply if you want to define it, or you can say what exactly the nanoscience is. The nanoscience is nothing but the synthesis of nanomaterials. Wherever we are synthesizing the nanomaterial, so this is simply it is called as a nanoscience. So as a student of chemistry, or we are from the chemistry background, so we have lot of scope in this field, that is in the synthesis of nanomaterials. So you have the lot of scope, and you have your why you have the lot of scope here? Because for synthesis purpose we should know the knowledge of its chemistry, what exactly the chemical composition, which materials, which reactants are used here. So chemical reactions, we have to do some chemical reactions. So here our role is major role is played by the people who are from the chemistry background. So nanotechnology, it is an interdisciplinary field, but to go to the technology, we should have the material base, we should have, then we can apply some engineering to prepare some devices, or material should get some applications. So here basic role of the chemist is at the nanoscience. That means we are very good job here for the synthesis purpose, or for preparation of nanomaterials. So technology, so we are using the technology or tremendously the field is changed because of the nanomaterials. So simply, if you want to say the what exactly the nanotechnology, this is basically the application of the nanoscience. That means the whatever synthesized nanomaterials are they, so they are applied. This is nothing but the nanotechnology, or simply you can say that it is nothing but the engineering of the nanomaterials. Here I have shown one mobile phone here and some SIM cards here. So where what exactly the nanomaterial is doing in this mobile phone or in the SIM card. So previously we know the size of the computers, we know the size of the mobile phones. Now they get flat. Why these huge size of computers and the mobile phones they get flat? Because of the nanomaterials. In the chips, the magnetic nanoparticles, they are used for this purpose. That means in memory card it is used. Then, so as I already have told you, the properties of the bulk properties, they get enhanced or they get increased whenever the material it reaches up to the nanoscale. So what is the basis of this, that the properties they get enhanced or increased at the nanoscale? So to understand it, we should know the what exactly the surface to volume ratio. Surface to volume ratio played a very important role for the change in the properties at the nanoscale. So here I have taken example of the cube here. So here you can see the three different sized cubes here. So one is single cube, you can see the, and its height and width, it is considered here as a 1 unit. So in second case, the second cube is there which is bigger than the first one, and its height and width is taken as a 5. And in third case, so that cube of the height and width of 5, it is divided into the 125 cubes. So we know that the how to calculate the total surface area. So surface area, it is calculated by using the formula height into width into the number of sides into the number of boxes, and the total volume, it is calculated by using the formula height into width into the number of boxes. So in first case, the cube is having only 1 unit. So if you calculate the surface area for the first cube, it is 1 into 1 into 1, it is 1 only. In case of 2, second cube whose height and width, that is 5, so that is 5 into 5 into only one cube is here. So 1 into 6 sides of the cubes, so it comes out to be 5 into 5 into 1 into 6, it is 150. And in third case where we have the 125 cubes, so its surface area, it is calculated as 5 into 5 into 5 into 6, so that is 750. And the total volume for the first case, it is 1 only, and for second case this is 125, and for the third case where we have the 125 cubes, the total volume is again 125. So by seeing this, you can see here the total volume, it is not changed in case of second and third case. So that means the total volume, it remains constant, but the surface area wise, you can see or we can observe here the surface area is increased as we have reduced the size. That is, we have cut the cube into 125 cubes, so the surface area is increased here. And the surface to volume ratio, that is calculated by surface area divided by total volume. So for first case, it is surface to volume ratio, it is 1. For the second case, it is 150 by 125, which is 1.2. And for the third case, it is 750 by 125, which is it is 6. So means as we go on reducing the size, the surface to volume ratio, it is increased in case of third case. So that means whenever you are reaching from the bulk material to the nanoscale, surface to volume ratio is increased. So that we can understood here by seeing this example. Second property, which is called as a quantum confinement effect, that we'll see in the second video. Thank you.